Welcome to the Learning Curve of Life podcast. I'm Dana Stovern, author and your host, and I'll be sharing candid insights about conscious living that I've gleaned from over 20 years of my spiritual path and work as a body-based intuitive life coach and money coach. This podcast is the platform to share my offerings of my written word in voice form to inspire and awaken you, entertain and encourage you, provide hope, and a deeper view into more meaningful living. Thanks for being here and enjoy the words. A Christmas with no bells or whistles. Christmas Day 2021, Rogers Mesa, North Fork of the Gunnison, Colorado. I feared Christmas this year because I knew the holiday was totally stripped down for me. I'd have no family or gathering to be with because of the divorce and the Omicron variant of COVID limiting connection. There was no room to decorate a tree in my tiny space. I was also feeling the blah-humbug of the formality of gifting, which wasn't a requirement for me this year, and trying to formulate how I'd cook for myself for Christmas, a special meal. It felt like I was living in an involuntary boycott of Christmas, which did give me a certain kind of relief, even while a hollow feeling settled in the center of me. The hollowness eventually developed into a wad of fear that rolled around inside of me like a wild pool ball having no edges to keep it caged on a table. I did not know how I'd walk through this landscape and negotiate with the layers of emotions that the holiday always brings, alone. The closer the holiday weekend came, the more I realized, Dana, walk your talk with this. Do for yourself what you encourage others to do. Just be present and breathe through it. Don't ignore, don't avoid, don't fight or hide. Just stay with it. And that's what I've been doing, breathing through and being with where things should be but aren't. Grieving when I need to, and of all the surprising holy holies, finding redemption, independence, and freedom, where I'd always had to lean into the yoked harness of the holidays. And it was this morning, as I cooked scrambled eggs, topping them with a bit of a mess of raspberry sauce, while enjoying a side of a chocolate-filled croissant, that Scott Simon's NPR voice took me to a place I hadn't expected. The NPR story was about the Christmas celebration happening in Jerusalem, Jesus' birthplace. It was a story about what usually happens there and how quiet it is now because of this recent Omicron variant shutdown. And then Scott and company played Arabic voices, singing in Aramaic, Jesus' language. It was in that wave of voices coming through the speakers in my tiny Airbnb that a wave of holy light flowed through my kitchen and brought me to joyous tears. In that moment, because my Christmas was all stripped down with no bells or whistles, and my soul was more than a little cracked open, because my Christmas was just me and my two dogs, Jasmine and Peanut, and because all I'd been doing was focusing on staying present and breathing, I heard him. I heard him. I heard Jesus in all that gold and white light flowing through my tiny living space with a crystal clarity vibrantly, poignantly, and briefly arriving and saying, Dana, see? They're all celebrating me. And then he showed me such a purity of light flowing through the entire planet. And he showed me a purity of love flowing through the entire planet. And he showed me such a purity of peace flowing through the entire planet. Jesus showed me that the altar of sacred Christmas, even through all the holiday crap that goes with the day, contains a purity of love that most of us practice on this single day around the world, where we stay briefly focused on one thing, being together in a space of peace and love. And in those moments that he was showing me this, he showed me how happy he is to be with all of us in this space, celebrating the qualities he brought to earth: peace, humanitarianism, and love for self and fellow people. Most of all, a crystalline purity of light in the darkness, like Christmas lights shining out in the middle of the darkest night as the sun turn with the earth during a solstice season. Merry Christmas, everyone, no matter where you are or what time of year it is when you read or hear this, no matter how challenging our landscape and our journeys are right now. The spirit of Christmas truly is alive and making a difference in the world. You've just listened to an Along the Learning Curve of Life piece with Dana Stovern. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast and also sign up for my newest written releases at www.danastovern.com, or stay abreast of the current work on my Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter channels. And remember, stay curious, stay aware, and let the universe be your tour guide.